Hi guys, my name is Ali Fajon. Welcome to my home. I just want to thank you so much for coming over, and I want to let you know I'm not trying to diss your mama. I mean no disrespect. I really do not. The reason why I phrased my title the way I did is because I think that class is learned. So if you don't have your parents teaching you these things or some sort of role model or figure in your life, how are you to know? How are you to know what is good manners and what isn't? I'm gonna let you know. So I think that people that lack class or people that do not have good manners, it's mainly because they don't have proper education. There's nobody who told them, hey, you shouldn't do that, or that's really bad manners. So that is what this video is for. And there's no shame if you didn't know these things, or if you do not do them perfectly, because I don't. I really don't. I've failed in every single one of these categories, but like anything that becomes beautiful, it takes work. It takes intentionality, it takes practice. And so just like we develop our wardrobe or our makeup routine or curate our house to be beautiful, I think we also need to put that same work and effort into our character, because character just doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice, it takes effort, it takes putting in the work in order to develop into something that's beautiful. So I hope that explains a little bit where I'm coming from in this. I don't want to be condescending or above it all at all. And I'm going to try to not just tell you, you need to do something because I say so. Hopefully I never become a parent like that. And if you are a parent like that, I can't imagine how easy it is to do that. I'm not in your shoes, so again, no shade. But I really don't want to be a parent like that. I want to be able to explain to my kids the reasons why I'm implementing rules or the reasons why there are boundaries. And hopefully I have good reasons behind them. So in this video, I'm going to try to give a little explanation why even do this stuff. Overarchingly, real quick, let's talk about what is class. To me, class is very closely connected to good character. I think that classy people are humble people, and they're considerate of others, they honor others. That is the core to me of what a classy person is. This video is not specific to women, or it doesn't have a feminine tone. This is for any human being, no matter what your gender is. All of these tips are not female specific. All right, with that being said, let's get into it. Number 1, hold the door. Now, I don't think this is strictly a gentleman thing to do. You can do it if you're a lady too. I've done it. I hold doors for people and I receive a positive response. I think it's just the principle of you go ahead, you go before me. And again, going back to what is class, it's courtesy, it's honoring, it's considerate. So if you're holding the door for someone, that's a very kind and honoring gesture to that person. I especially love to see it if you notice somebody that is handicapped or in a wheelchair and you hold the door for them. That is very sweet. But really, for anyone can do this for anybody. Second, be punctual. Now, I know certain people, being late is a part of their culture, and I get that. If you're close friends with people and it's your family and it's just kind of a thing that y'all are gonna arrive 30 minutes late because you're on Filipino time, okay, cool, okay. If that's already the pre-established culture of whoever it is that you're gonna meet, I'll leave room for nuances. There really is room for nuances within etiquette because it can vary depending on your culture, your family, your group. But I do think that all of these tips are just good no matter what culture or what gender or what age. I think that they cover just general etiquette. So being punctual is being respectful of other people's time. If you say you're gonna meet at 6 p.m., be there at 6 p.m. Don't leave the person waiting for you. And I know things come up, I know there's traffic, but you can also plan ahead to be early. So there really aren't as many excuses as you may think, but be respectful of other people's time by being punctual. Third, don't chew and talk at the same time. This one I notice I can slip up on easily if I'm not thinking about it. I don't know why. It's just very natural to eat, and if you're in conversation with somebody, then you also want to talk, and the two can just mix up together, but please don't do it. It really is gross. And if you do the thing where you like put the food on the side of your mouth, you know, and you kind of can talk understandably, cover your mouth with your hand. Don't just like, oh yeah, and just assume they can't see it on the side of the mouth. They can see it. Don't chew and eat and talk at the same time. 4, cough and sneeze well. Especially after what we went through the past few years, people are very conscientious of coughs and sneezes. Now, I don't know who invented this, coughing in or sneezing into your elbow. To me, that doesn't make any sense because it's just gonna psh, psh. Like, it doesn't seem to be very good coverage here. If you have a tissue or a napkin, that's best. Cough or sneeze into the napkin or tissue. But if you don't have that available, I personally like sneezing into the shirt or into your sweater, whatever you're wearing. I think that kind of like traps everything. So that's my personal recommendation if you don't have a tissue. But cough and sneeze well. Do not just cough or sneeze into the air, please. I think we can all understand why that is not tasteful and not respectful of other people. And yeah, it's just not good. I don't think I have to explain that one too much. 5. Okay, so in the situation that you're with other people, you're in the car, you get a call, and you put that person on speakerphone, let the person know they're on speakerphone right away. So, hey, so-and-so, I'm here with Bobby, you're on speakerphone, just want to let you know. That is important because what if the other person says something that the person next to you is not supposed to hear? You do not want to deal with that awkward situation, and it will be on you because you're the one who put them on speakerphone. You're the one who's responsible to protect the privacy of the conversation. So let them know, give them a heads up, give them a fair disclosure right away, just in case. Number 6, do not talk behind other people's back, especially if it's negative. I used to not think this was a big deal at all. Just like gossiping or slandering somebody else. I know, it sounds really bad, but even growing up as a Christian, I was always like, you know, like everybody does it. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just how friends talk. That's what I thought. Until I was on the other end of it and I got really hurt by people talking behind my back. And I realized the effects of my words by talking behind somebody else's back. And I really had to own up to that and see the damage that was caused by speaking bad about other people behind their back. And I know that sounds like a common sense thing, but it's really normal and easy to do that with our friends. And I just highly recommend against it. It is not honoring of that other person at all. And it creates a lot of unsafety within the relationship, within the friend group. And so learn from my mistakes. It's really not good to do that. It's really rude and it does have devastating consequences. Literally, it'll break friendships and relationships apart and really hurt morale and self-esteem and just other people's feelings, and that's not something we want to be doing. Unless you're a villain, then why are you watching this video? Number 7, thank you cards. Now, this may seem a little bit old school, but thank you cards, physical written thank you cards, are still really great, especially if you receive a bigger or more expensive gift. I recommend that being the best option, is to write out a thank you card to that person, physically give it to them or mail it to them. Nowadays, with the younger generation, texting thank yous or like a thoughtful email works okay. I did that when it came to my bridal shower and also my wedding. I sent emails to people instead of physical cards. So it just depends on your preferences, but if you receive a gift, whether it's for your birthday or for a shower, always make sure to say thank you to whoever gifted you the present. Number 8, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Follow through with your plans. If you make a plan, have the integrity to commit to it and not flake out. At the last minute is the worst. At any time, it's not really good to flake, but if you made the plan, if you put it in the calendar, it's not just you that did it. Somebody else did. So if you break apart that plan last minute, that is disrespectful of their time, of the energy, and the mental commitment that they put into meeting with you. So really try to avoid canceling plans at all costs unless it's an emergency. And if it is an emergency, a true emergency, then please communicate with them as soon as possible why you're not able to make it. So emergencies happen. They do, but even then, it's on you to be proactive with your communication and explain why you're not able to make it. 9, we're almost at the end. Pay back whatever you are owed. Do not leave your debt sitting, that Venmo request just there for weeks. Pay it back. I would say my personal rule is within 24 hours. And if you're not able to pay it back within that time period, don't even create the debt. Do not let your friends turn into loan sharks for you. Do not let them become debt collectors. It's not a great place to be as a friend. I'm sure you have been on the other end of that, and it's just really annoying. Like, you're not a credit card company. So if you owe somebody money, if you split the check, please make sure to pay them back as soon as possible. Don't leave them hanging for that. And it's your purchase, so it's your responsibility to follow through with paying for what you purchased. Last one, number 10, address people with titles. Now, I was raised with this growing up. Everybody was Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, and I'm not sure if all families do this, but I think it's really good manners, and adults really liked it. When I referred to them with their titles, they were like, oh wow, like your daughter, she's so well-mannered, blah, blah, blah. And I think even in specific cultures, it's disrespectful if you don't address people with their titles. For example, Filipino culture, everybody who's like a middle-aged woman is tita, and everybody who's a middle-aged man is tito, and you always address them like that. Tita Vanessa, Tita Naneri, something like that. So my husband is Filipino, Mexican, Italian, and Chinese. And then I am Korean. In Korean culture, you do the same thing. You would call them by some sort of honorific or familial term. Not only is it respectful, it's also affectionate. So if I'm calling somebody who's a few years older than me and a girl 언니, then I'm respecting them by calling them older sister, but I'm also like saying they're like older sister to me. So it's affectionate in that way. Maybe don't say oppa because that has other connotations. Not if you're Greek, if you're Korean. So maybe not that one, but other things like imo, 언니, 할머니, 할아버지. Those are all good. When I was in high school in my PE class, I called the PE teacher Coach. I think her name was Coach Anderson. And everybody around her called her Miss Anderson, whatever. She loved that I called her Coach. I don't even know if she was a coach over any sport in the school, but the fact that I was addressing her as such, she really liked that. So titles are a big thing. Mr., Mrs., Sir, Ma'am, Sensei, Pastor, Doctor. Using the honorifics essentially will show that you are giving that person respect. And that is a very classy thing to do. All right, friends, I think that's it for part 1. I'm gonna make this a series because I have more things on my list that I think are ways that you can be a classy person. So if you're interested in learning more, stay tuned for part 2 and part 3. They are coming in the next following weeks. Please like and subscribe if you want to come over again. I'm really new on YouTube, so I really appreciate everybody who has engaged with me and has subscribed to this channel. And yeah, I hope to see you again next week. Thank you so much for coming over. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!